Afternoon, good afternoon. Oh my goodness. One day I'm going to get this where I fully understand where the heck everything is, because right at the moment, oh goodness, it is Monday, the 18th of November. I've already done this once this morning in the system that I'm very much used to, my own page with Ros Boundy. I'm Ros Boundy on behalf of Boomer Press, doing the live stream into 5 Foot Rope TV, and I'm hoping, but I'm not sure that it is, going into the event as well as to the page, as well as to, I don't know where. I'd like it to go to my Ros Boundy page too, but I can't remember how to share that. Maybe Susie? Hello, Susie. I don't know whether you can tell me or not. I think I need retraining. Too used to my own methods in the way that I've been doing it for over 6 years. Probably a wee bit old. But anyway, we're here just to do a little more practice on get to starting the writing. I know I've got it written up somewhere. Start writing, keep writing, and continue working toward what might be your memoir. Okay, now in the last few episodes that I've done that are the weekday episodes, these little half-hour slots, I have used what I've got here is the life story. And that's the one I want to keep on using for these episodes, so that what we can do is share some of the interesting questions that come out of this particular tool, the deck of cards that are this. Now I'm going to switch it round so that I can move through it again with those who may not have seen how I do this and use it. So let's just have a look here. I'm just going to, before I forget, put the website boomerpress.online in the links there, in the chat part there. I'm hoping it turns up somewhere that you can click on the link so that you can have a look at the website. I don't have these for sale. This is just something that I picked up as I was looking around for. There might have been a tool, you know, the adverts, the algorithms, and how you look for something and you get shown everything else related to it, even if you've already purchased what you want. It was one of those types of stories, and this showed up because it was cards or something to help with, writer's block or something like that. Just can't remember, and this did show up. It's I got two, so I have since gifted the other, sold on the other one that was a double up. I'd forgotten I bought one. I bought two instead. So Lainey's the lucky recipient of that. So here it is, a lovely little tool. For something that is professionally produced, sort of, there is errors in it, as you can tell on the back. You know, an author would pick that up, a writer would pick that up, someone that proofreads. So that's how the boxed set is. It's in a lovely box like this. It's not too badly constructed. It's quite solid and quite good. So in the end, we'll all become stories. I love that little saying. In the number of times that I've actually opened this box, I only noticed it the last session that we did, the last episode I did. So I thought, well, that's interesting. In the end, we do all become stories. It is something that's a great tagline. Although what I really encourage people to do is don't leave it too late until it is too late, because we really need to start now. So in this box, as I pull the cards out like this, what we have, and I'll just put that over there so you can see the edge of it, because I do want to fit the 3 cards together along the side here. And for some reason I look to be very well zoomed in, so I'm going to see if I can drop that back a bit so that we can see more of the table. That's it. I must have left it about at that zoom in when I was doing my live stream this morning. So I'm not going to shuffle these cards. So these are in the categories that we're seeing for a purpose. It is that memory prompting. and it's with early life, midlife, and then we have the later life and reflection. So I've already begun using these cards, and I've left them in the groupings that I've used already. You might need to go back and look at the past episodes to see those in what order I did them. There's no need to if you don't want to, because I'm just piecing these together randomly. I shuffled each section once and I put them up and shared them. They are random. It's just to get the creative thoughts moving forward for each stage, doing it either each day. I'm not doing that at the moment. It is only Monday and Thursdays, but the idea is probably to do at least once a week. Write your pieces about each stage of life to get those rememberings happening, and down on paper it really is a lot more solidifying, so that you can actually remember even more as you are writing. That pen to paper does a lot more than just doing the keyboards. I know from my own experience how much it does improve what you are thinking and writing as you're thinking and writing as you're thinking. So the first one that we've got here for today's exercise is, for what we're going to write. From our early life, what are your most memorable stories of your mother? Now, some of these do seem to be similar questions as they're coming up, but they're not all the same. Guaranteed they are not. Because one of them recently was, what did you learn from your mother? This one is, what are your most memorable stories of your mother? And just as an example from me, was one of the instances. I'm just going to point the Apple Pencil there at the one that I'm currently talking about. Makes it easier. I don't have to wobble the pencil around everywhere. And these cards are brilliant, Susie. Now that I've opened them and started using them, it really is proving to be quite the memory joggers, and getting you to think past what was the most obvious thing that we remember about people in our family and our life. Because sometimes what I've found, when you get together with your siblings and other family members, like your aunts, uncles, cousins, all that you do each remember different things, and you sometimes slip into their memory of remembering as if it is yours, and it's not quite the right remembering, if you get what I mean. This, for me, is actually starting to trigger some of those memories for myself without thinking, well, what do I ask my brothers, sisters, and etc.'s, because I'm not with them at the moment. And it was funny that this morning, just out of the blue, wasn't anything at all to do with this, but now it's brought up that memory. And it was, for some reason, I had a question in my mind that popped up, was, when did I remember? I remembered. It's not when did I didn't have the question pop up. It was the instance of remembering. Oh, I can remember having our first ever taste of spaghetti and the experience of eating it. Not the canned spaghetti, but the real stuff as pasta, cooked, boiled and cooked as a pasta, and the bolognese sauce put on top, and the Parmesan cheese on top of that. And I remembered it. It just popped into my head, and I thought, I knew that we were out visiting with people after church. It was one of those situations where, like, Mum and Dad took us and the kids, all of us went to church on Sundays. And when Dad was doing his lay preaching, it was sometimes 2 to 3 different little churches in our parish that we'd preach at. And the last one, if it happened to be the lunchtime one, we'd be invited by some of the parishioners to their table for lunch. And this was one of those situations. And I can remember sitting at the table. We didn't know the kids very well at all, but there were children the same age. And it was the Coolborough General Store when it was still open and operational. Now, the Coolborough, if anyone knows South Australia and the Dukes Highway, it is between Canalpin and Keith, somewhere there, one of those little drive-through situations. There was a general store, probably a mechanical workshop and a fuel bowser there, and that would have been it because it was one of those types of side pull-offs. You didn't have as much kilometre range with your fuel tanks in those days, and you filled up and got the kids a drink and then kept moving on. One of those little places. And I remember sitting down to this meal. We had never seen it as children. Mum had never cooked it before, but we were made to eat it because that's what the polite thing is to do. You don't refuse the food when you're out as a guest. Sitting there trying to work out how to eat this spaghetti, and you grab the fork, pull it up to your mouth and slurp it, and it slops everywhere. And the smell of the parmesan cheese as it was melted on top, it must have been that Kraft shaker type. And it smelt like, what it does smell like. Well, for me as a child at the time, and we had to eat it. We had to sit there and eat it. And it was horrible. I felt like puking. That's the experience. So that's one of the memorable times where I can definitely recall a story of Mum surreptitiously making us eat it, saying, come on, you've got to eat this. We knew with the look on Mum's face, we had to eat it. That pressure, that look, very interesting. So, Susie, yes, and you remember the same thing or event differently or from different perspectives as well. Absolutely it is. Because one of the things I did was I thought, well, I'm going to give my twin sister a call. She might be around and she might remember it as well. Well, she didn't. She vaguely remembers the Coolborough store and eating there, being there, but she can't remember the meal. And I'm pretty sure it was that. I have no way of proving it now. But it's an interesting story, isn't it? Now with our midlife question from today, what we're going to look at is how did you adjust to working full time? Now, I remember one of the previous questions, if I can quickly flip through this one. Did you change jobs a lot? Can you describe each job you had? Where's another midlife one? Do you have grandchildren? No, I think I've got these mixed up. There was one about, did you have a part-time job when you were young and did you enjoy it? So now we're advancing from that when we were young. We're at the midlife. How did you adjust to working full-time? So here, what did you experience? And Susie, it's so funny how we are at the same event but remember it so differently. Yeah, isn't it? And it's just because there's that different perspective of how we are seeing what we're interested in, I suppose, and what we remember. Okay, now Susie, I have a funny feeling you've mentioned before that you have had multiple businesses along your lifeline, job experience, or did you work? Because I explained the last time, look, I didn't actually have full-time jobs. I haven't ever had full-time jobs because I was home looking after 4 children. I did spend time after they were in bed and all of that doing the bookkeeping and doing the office management, payroll, all of that sort of stuff. When I could, once the kids started school, I was part-time up at our depot. We had the earth moving by then, not just the potting soil and cow manures and stuff. We were fully into earth moving by then, and a depot and an on-site quarry and all sorts of things like that. So I was able to do part-time. I've never worked full-time 9 to 5 at all. So, and Susie, you certainly have. You bought your first business at 20. Yeah, I thought that's what you'd said. And you did have a few full-time jobs in between, but mainly worked for yourself for the last 35 years, which is what I've sort of been doing mostly since divorcing and the rest. It has been that is the solopreneur, working at the therapies and things that I decided to learn to create that space that I wanted for how I'd structure my income earning capacity. So what we've got, how did you adjust to full-time working if you were a worker for someone else, or adjust to each of the different style of businesses? That question can be adapted. It's just to get those creative juices and thought processes moving ahead, okay? Now what we've got for the one today with a later life and reflection is, what have been the most positive things in your life? For each and every one of us, that's definitely going to be a different answer for all of that. Because for each and every one of us, just to relate a few of mine, it would have to be that process of finishing school, being married, and having the first baby, and then the second, and then the third, and then the fourth. Each of the children, so having. It really, you can't explain it. It really just is that moment to treasure each time, as much as the experience is not always pain-free, but it's certainly a process you forget. Oh, well, I did forget that as soon as the birth occurred and you've got the baby in arms, and enjoying those moments of the bonding, and then just the smiles and the all that type of thing, the nursing, even the nappies, even the training and the toilet potty and all of that sort of stuff. It was just a joy, and it has gone too quickly. Absolutely. And then I suppose it is those moments of positive things. Being a volunteer for the ambulance service was a really big thing for me at the time that I was a volunteer. Was able to do that for 7 years. In the end, life changes do move things around, and you can't continue some of what you enjoy. And I missed that for quite a few years after I had needed to finish it. And grandchildren and different experiences, like going to England and Ireland when we did to visit when a daughter was doing working holidays. I was determined I wanted to go overseas, and she was there, the opportunity presented. I made my husband go with me at the time, and we ended up being over in Ireland as well and visiting an Angus sale at Carrick-on-Shannon, and that was a wonderful experience because we were highlighted from the crowd as being visitors from Australia, and all eyes shine on you, and you sort of think, oh God, how embarrassing. But it was one of those highlights, a really good experience. So there's many others, of course, that you're going to be able to remember for yourself and jot them down. Put them up in your journal, in the notebook you're creating. Gather some photos together if you've got them, to really jog your memory for details even further. And hi, Lainey, lovely to see you. You've got your kit. Yeah, you can follow along as a daily writing. And share them if you like. It'd be lovely to see some others sharing their little bits and pieces and snippets in the 5 Foot Rope TV. It'd be lovely to see that sort of interaction on the posts on these particular episodes, if you prefer to have it a little bit kept within context too. So it is lovely to hope to start over Christmas. Yeah, it's lovely to put that time. I know I've had to schedule the time for myself to be able to do the writing, and I'm just going to switch this back again to my face. That's it. And I think I can take out, unless of course you still want to see those 3 questions, but if you need them, it's always take a snapshot of when I had them in the full view as a screenshot, if you like, once you go back on a replay. That's the beauty of these live streams. They do stay here until whenever. They're not taken off. Well, I don't take them off. So certainly put some time into going through your calendar and schedule some time that you're going to be able to spend. I don't call it spending, because spent almost feels like it's empty. What I like to figure in my mind is I'm actually investing some time in what's going to be that end result of a memoir or story that's similar to a memoir. I don't know how it's going to turn out for my own experience, but I know that it's part of what I want to tell, because I want my kids to remember and the grandkids to know some of what we experienced in building a business, in creating from scratch something that did grow into a multi-million dollar business in the end, and is totally non-existent now, all because of a single accident and death. It's so much that can be relayed in creating a theme for what is your memoir that shows people strength and resilience, and being careful around railway tracks, crossings and all sorts of things. There's so much in possibilities of what can be created from your own stories. So take some time, make some time. Whichever way you look at it, it needs to be in your diary or your calendar that you are putting time aside to invest in writing those thoughts that you have, those stories that you've experienced, and the possibilities that you see for what might be the future stories that you hold. Or you could even take it to just starting to write creatively. Do a fiction book. There is so many different genres out there now. The possibilities are endless. One of the things that I've noticed as I've gone exploring through using the artificial intelligence, AI generated content, and as a tool, as an assistant for writing, even as the creation of full-on prose and text to write a book. It's not there at the moment to create one all by itself. It's getting close, but really, is that where we want to go? I'm just using the tools that are available so that we can further expand our own learning and experience, to put our own words down on the paper or on the screen, on the in the word processing tools we use. I love using Scrivener, by the way. That's the one I've chosen to go with. It's a wonderful program that really does create a book that's easy to follow, how you set it up and everything. Wonderful tool. Plenty of others out there as well. Ask me, check out the website, fill out the form of particular areas you might want some help with, and we can certainly have a chat about what help I can give you, what help Michelle can design as far as websites or the marketing stuff if you're looking to publish fully public and saleable books professionally, and the assistance that we can give with Steph as well. So we are a little team, but we are particular, and we can move forward on most things that you'd like and need for writing. So check that out. I haven't got the link handy. I should have these things ready, but leave me a DM in my Ros Boundy profile or the Boomer Press page. There is a Facebook page that is there for Boomer Press. I probably can go to that and bring that one up fairly quickly if I can. Oh, there are events. Let me just have a quick look and see if I can pull that up quickly enough to put in the link before my time is finished here for our session today. And I'm hoping that this is going to actually copy it. Nah, that does something different. Gosh, isn't it funny how you can get so much stuff? And let's just have a look. Oh, that's an ID profile. How do you do it, Susie? Oh, this is so frustrating. I'm trying to, look, let me just go over to this. Let's go to that way. I'm just going to have to log into Facebook as Boomer Press and see what that does, because I don't know. Some of this stuff, it's just too frustrating. Oh, it is that. Let's copy that across and see. See if it's clickable. There we go. There we go. Now, and Susie, yes, so important to have that professional look for sure. It certainly is when you're moving to putting things into a marketplace, that with the AI now, the availability to everybody for nearly every part of it. Ah, cool. Yep, it's posted. Good. For every part and stage almost of what can be the production of fiction, non-fiction, and whatever else you're wanting really, there can be that sense of everyone's going to do it and it's going to flood the market. But the thing is that because each and every one of us has a unique story, yes, it needs that professional cover and the editing to be really professional. It needs to be edited, ideally at least minimum 2 types of editing: the developmental editing and the copy line editing, and the final proofreading. Proofreading is not editing, it is proofreading. So there's really a few stages that are a must when you're looking to actually put it publicly, but you can stand out. You can have your story marketed really well to be able to stand out in what is going to be, yes, quite a few books out there on the market, on the shelves or wherever. But we can still do self-publishing so easily, and it is possible. You just have to do it. And especially as far as writing our own stories, we need to do it before it's too late. Don't leave it till too much longer as far as your memoirs go. Various reasons why we do want to write. Just get it done out there, and on bits of paper is fine. Gather it together and then collate and do a shuffle. That's what Scrivener's good for. Anyway, I'll leave it there for now. Need to go. It is time, as we all know. We have a timeline with sharing this space of the 5 Foot Rope TV. And Susie, there are so many more options these days than there used to be. And it is so easy to do now as well. And if you don't know, there's steps to take that can be easily guiding you to taking those steps, or some things can be done for you too. That's another option. So thank you for watching, and I think I've numbered the episodes right. So episode 5 will be Thursday at the 5:30 Adelaide time, 5 o'clock Queensland time, and we'll continue onwards with the process. Until then, thank you, Helen. Hi. And Susie, another great live and really good info, Roz. Thank you. Thank you for being here. And it is great to be able to share in this way. Thank you, Susie, for the opportunity. So till Thursday, I'll see you then. Bye.